Hi man, this is Govindh from grade 10, studying at Saram Vishweshwaraya Vidyaniketan. Now going to explain about the lesson The Concert, which was written by Shanta Rameshwar Rao. Now the lesson. One morning in a small apartment in Mumbai, a girl of about 16 looked up from the newspaper and said excitedly, Pandit Ravi Shankar's playing tomorrow at Shanmukhananda Auditorium. Shh, said the mother, pointing to the finger sleeping on the bed. You will wake him up. You know that he needs all the sleep and rest he can get. But the boy on the bed was not asleep. Pandit Ravi Shankar, he said. Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro, he raised himself up on his elbows for 1 second, then fell back. He said, I have always wanted to hear him and see him.
Everything
Lie
you
down,
know
son.
is in your mind.
His mother sprang up to his side. He actually raised up without any help. He murmured with a catch in her throat, and her eyes turned to the idols on a corner shelf. The prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden to her lips. I must hear him and see him, the boy repeated. He had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. But his large eyes were fixed on his sister. Smita bit her lips in self-approach. She had been so excited at seeing the announcement that she had not remembered that her brother
Are you
was
all
very
my
ill.
personal dreams?
She had seen how the doctors have shaken their heads gravely and spoke words that neither she nor her parents could understand. But somewhere deep inside, Smita had known the frightening truth that Anant was going to die. The word cancer had hung in the air. Her brother was dying of cancer. Even though she pretended that all would be well and dying, and they would return together, a small family of 4, to their home in Gaganpur. And he was only 15 and the best tennis player and in the school and the fastest runner. He was learning to play sitar. They were both taking sitar lessons, but Anant was better than her as in many other things. He was already able to compose his own tunes to the astonishment of his guru. Then cancer had struck and they had come to Mumbai so that they could be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. Whenever they came to Bombay, the family stayed with Aunt Sushila. Her apartment was not so big, but there was always room for them. They had come from high hopes in the miracles of modern science. They told themselves that Anant would be cured at the hospital and he would again walk and run and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournament. And he would play sitar and perhaps would become a great sitarist one day. But his condition grew worse with each passing day, and the doctors said that take him home.
Are you all my personal
Give him the
dreams?
things he likes, including, and they knew that the boy had not many days to live, but did not voice their fears. They laughed and smiled and
Everything you
talked
know is in
and
your
surrounded Anand with whatever made him happy. They fulfilled his every need and gave whatever he asked for. And now he was asking to go to the concert, the chance of a lifetime. He was saying, when you are better, his mother said. This is not the last time that they are going to play. Smita stood at the window looking at the traffic, her eyes filled with tears. Her mother whispered, "But you, Smita, you must go. Your father will take you." When she was alone with Aunt Sushila, Smita cried out in a choked voice, "Now, how can I? We have always done things together,
Are you all my
Anand
personal
and I. A walk in the park might make you feel better," said Aunt Sushila, and Smita was grateful for her suggestion. In the park, people were walking, running, playing ball, doing gymnastic exercises, feeding the ducks, and eating roasted gram and peanuts. Smita felt alone in the midst. She was lost in her thoughts. Suddenly, a daring thought came to her mind, and she hurried home, and she said by herself, "It would be nice to go to the concert. I don't know when we'll get another opportunity to hear Pandit Ravi Shankar's voice." She said to her mother later, and her father agreed to get the tickets. Day, as Smita and her father were leaving for the concert, her brother smiled and "Enjoy yourself." Sitting beside her father in the gallery, Smita heard in a dream the thundering welcome. The audience gave the great master. Then the first notes came into the air, and Smita felt as if the gates of enchantment and wonder were opening. Concert came to an end, and the audience gave the artist stand ovation. And now a large man made a long, boring speech. Then followed the presentations of the boutiques. Then more applause, and the curtain came down. The people began to move out towards the exit. Smita wriggled her way through the crowds towards the stage. Then she went up the steps that laid the wings. Her heart beat loudly. Now he was both the great sitarist and the tabla player was standing near the man. Smita shouted,
Are you all my
"Oh,
personal
sir!" "Yes," he answered questioningly but kindly. And her story came pouring out, the story of a brother who lay sick at home and he was suffering from cancer. Then the mustached
you
man
know is in
with
your
a long
mind.
speech said, "Little girl, Pandit Ji is a busy man. You must not bother him and with such business." But Pandit Shankar smiled and mentioned him to be quiet. He turned to Ustad Sahib and said, "What shall we do, Ustad Sahib?" The Ustad Sahib, the word of pan from one chair to another. "Tomorrow morning, we perform for this boy." "Yes," he said. "Yes," Pandit Ji replied. It was very excited to Smita, who came late to that night. Anand was awake, breathing the oxygen from the cylinder. Did you hear him?" he whispered.
Are you all
"I
my
did.
personal dreams?
And I spoke to him, and he will come tomorrow morning with the tabla ustad, and they will play for you." And the following morning, Aunt Sushila's neighbors saw two men getting out from the taxi which pulled up outside their block. They could not believe their eyes. "It is impossible," they said. Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha went up the wooden staircase and knocked the door softly of Aunt Sushila's apartment. They went in, sat down on the divan by the window and played for the boy, surrounding him with a great and beautiful happiness as a life went out of him gentle and very gently. This is the true story, but all the names except Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha have been not changed. This video is dedicated to our beloved class teacher Prema ma'am.